Wassail rats, salut les rats. That's French. So, we are on the 8th new moon in the year of the metal rat. And obviously, because it's 8, it's all about change. I've just uploaded a video in preparation for this, which is incredibly long, I'm so sorry, that talks about the 7 planets retrograding at the moment, and that's why these changes are taking place. So, we're doing a reading that looks at your inner child, because that's part of the Lion Cub Gateway portal that opened. And we're beginning with, where's your inner child at, rat? Where's your inner child at, rat? I started doing your reading yesterday, and there was so much wind in the house. I thought it was like being in the Wizard of Oz. And then one of the cards came out with characters from the Wizard of Oz on, but then a storm appeared and it was all too noisy and too difficult to keep going. So I'm here today. Hello. So there's one slipping like it couldn't be bothered, didn't want to get involved, which could be a message about your inner child. Oh, we didn't do the bells. I promised myself I wouldn't forget the bells. So there were 2 really shocking, aggressive, harsh. And then I thought, I can't let the last one be like that. And then I dribbled on it. So, your bells are saying there's something quite powerful coming towards you with this change. I think I'm going to try and deal all the cards out and then read them, and then I don't have to keep doing them. So the second is, what is Sirius bringing? The star Sirius being the sun star, the brightest one in the galaxy that is now over the pyramids, that creates the energy of the Lion Cub Gateway portal. What's it bringing that you can't see? What's it bringing that you can't see? What's it bringing that you can't see? Oh, extra card. Oh my goodness, there's 5. Okay, so that's spoilt my little shield formation that I was trying to do for each sign. And then, what do you need to do? This is the triple cosmic deck. What do you need to do with what you're about to learn? Oh, what do rats need to do? Oh, you need to struggle to get that card out. I know that much. And then what's the outcome of what you're doing? What's the outcome of this moon phase? What's the outcome of this moon phase? So, rats. We're beginning with Rapunzel. Rapunzel, let down your hair. Okay, so this is a tower moment, and it's the tower card in this deck. So, the spirit is looking down from the top of the tower at your inner child locked in a tower, and below is the kind of wicked witch figure But actually, this wicked witch is not wicked. This wicked witch is the cosmos rat stepping in to bring about changes that you are frightened to make yourself. And she's trying to pull your inner child by the great long plait out of the tower to the ground. And this is your divine feminine consciousness trying to tug on you. In the distance, there's another bird, this one's black, a crow, looking down on your divine masculine molecules, almost running wild with you. So I want to say that the frequency of the earth grid where you live is different for everybody. As I'm learning, being in Le Havre, the energy here has a distortion to it from the bombings that bleed into people, and it's that idea of seraphim energy. The seraphim are a race of beings, the bird people, and they're sort of thought of as the fallen angels quite often, and the ones that didn't fall are the ones still up in the heavens. But they didn't fall because they didn't get involved in the earth energy, and the earth energy for 26,000 years has been incredibly heavy, and they distort thoughts. So when we're born, as I said in the last video, as your single cell divides and turns into all the different cells, your original true consciousness frequency distorts to wrap itself around, and then the magnetism of the earth, the magic of the earth grid energy frequency of the age of Pisces, just pulls everything down. It makes you want to do the things you don't mean to do, but you're meant to, because that's how you see the light. So that's where your inner child's at. Your inner child's in its tower, being called upon by both spirit and the molecules, the raw masculine molecules in the background, who are running free, being kind of wild and not wanting to face up to truths of things that we do, consume, feel, the kind of lustful, wanton energies. I'm not saying you won't get lustful and wanton later, but there's a couple of volcanoes erupting in the background of this card over the dark sky. And then we have Cinq d'Épée, the Five of Swords. This is about regenerating your inner child. So where's your inner child at? It's trapped in a tower, but it's willing to regenerate. But it's being forced upon you now, this regeneration. So you're just one little tiny step away from landing on dry land, grabbing your new sword of truth, clarity of mind, and then getting on this raft to sail down the emotional oceans to somewhere new. So there's a starfish as well, which is the symbol of regeneration. You snap a piece of a starfish off and it regenerates exactly the same, and that's about regenerating our DNA molecules. We all look the same kind of, but we'll be regenerated. And so you remove your arm and the arm regrows. It's not quite in that sort of aggressive way. It's more that every few years, every single cell in your body is renewed. And now the energies of renewal, as cells die and are rebirthed, they're going to change in their micro atomic level. So, what is Sirius bringing you that you can't see? So this is the guardian spirit of the Sirius portal. This is a seraphim bird energy who is talking about being chained to the earth grid and how that causes life force to bleed out of us. And so because the earth grid has been so heavy in its energy frequency, it's why our lives and our life force wears out. Because if you look in stories back in the times of the Old Testament, you know, Methuselah lived to be 900 and something. So people were living for a lot longer. And this is the energy that's coming, this transforming of the freeing of the DNA trauma that's created in the Earth grid is being swept clean, and Seraphim are coming down to help us, rats, to remove the unnecessary energy frequencies. Now, how is that happening? Oh look, this is 8-8. Just to emphasize your 8-8 portal, the next card is Phoenix Fire Energy. I really don't want to go near that fire energy again, but we got to go through it. Well, I don't anymore because I've done it. So, I've cooked my molecules. So we have 8-8, the Lion's Gateway, portal energy from the Seraphim of Sirius. Not cat people here, but it's linked up to it because it's in the astrological Western sign of Leo, which is why it's called the Lion Gateway portal. So you have to allow the Earth grid energy. What don't you see coming in is the heat to cook and change the frequency of your cells. Look, you're all going to have to go through it at some point because it's the only way your cells get upgraded. And yeah, it's deeply uncomfortable, but it will pass. It really will pass. It'll just slide away. So the phoenix is rising from the ashes. It's like every cell in your body is being burnt so that at the atomic level, everything changes and a new frequency rises from each cell and it's cleansed. But it gets cleansed by the addition, obviously, of emotions. So while your body is going to be regenerated by the cosmos, by the tower moment, your inner child has to float across the sea of emotion, and that's shadow work that you have to do yourselves. Okay, so I'm getting, during your reading, that vagus nerve thing again. I haven't felt that energy since the other day, and I'm getting a kind of tightening at the base of the skull. And it's interesting because actually this card, the Rêves, which is the King of Water, has nothing in his neck but the cosmos. This is the clearance. This is how the shadow work, facing the deepest bottom of the ocean emotions, will unlock the blockage at the base of your skull to allow flow. That will also link into the Jupiter energy that's in the last reading, the G, of the thyroid and thymus. I didn't say thyroid and thymus in the video because I just watched the first 5 minutes of it before posting it. So, this is talking to me about Neptune. Deep, old, ancient, DNA inherited traumas on the body again, because there's a tiny trident in the middle of the third eye. So to be zen with water is when you've been to the bottom of the ocean, you come back up and you've stopped all of that swirling and whirling around, and you just focus on being at one with all emotional flows that come through you. So when someone comes running up to you and they kind of download a load of emotional stuff, you hear their emotional stuff, you offer them some advice, and then you hand all their emotions back to them because they belong to them, not to you. Don't empathically hold on to other people's frequencies, because that's not how we journey forwards here. To rescue our inner child, we have to be purified of the emotions of everybody around us. That's loved ones, that's family, that's friends, that's the collective. You have to do this inner work now for yourself, because the karmic planets of Jupiter, Pluto and Saturn's already there, are moving into Aquarius, and that's when, by the end of the year, and that's when this collective energy will come back together. But to come back together, we've all got to do individual shadow work. So it's definitely Neptunian, ancient, icy cold, frozen hard emotions that were poked in your life that feel as though they're part of your frequency, but they don't belong, and it's time to remove them. And then we have card 8. That's another 8. 888. That's a very lucky number. So 888, this is more renaissance, and this is your inner child in a cosmic egg, sitting on 3 skulls. The skulls here apparently represent what was your divine masculine, what was your masculine molecules, not divine, but when they were raw masculine, and the raw feminine energy that came down to burn off the ego and the old inner child that was damaged. This is birthing a new inner child with wisdom. And your divine feminine consciousness energy is wrapped around the egg, waiting to deliver it to you when you've done your shadow work. Okay? And then we have the 5 of air. Again, this is another seraphim energy. It's the new mask. Well, not mask, it's the truth. You have to look deeply inside yourself and have a transformation, and then you can put on a new face, almost like a new shell, restored DNA. So there are 2 dragonflies, there are 2 feathers, there are 2 little tiny spirals like miniature snail shells, but they're a reference to DNA spirals, the helix, the rotation of life, the growth from something tiny as it gets bigger and bigger, but its frequency, its fractal pattern doesn't distort any longer. And the area that you need to work on is the connection of your lower heart and your higher heart at the moment, because that's got a pattern of repeating Celtic symbol of a pattern trap, something that hasn't been broken. But there is over the past side here is a dragonfly, and then above, flying towards consciousness, is the second dragonfly. And I keep talking about dragonflies being this energy of transformation from the nymph stage. This is a giant cosmic transformation that's taken place. So the energy coming towards you is fire, water, and rebirth, to bring yourself a new focus, a new perception to place upon you, so that you see everything differently, and that will help your inner child. So what do you need to do to get that rebirth frequency and fire? Is 27, meditation. Improvements require persistence. This is all around this card are many other souls, and it is referencing what I said earlier about disconnecting from the collective. You have to meditate on your own inner emotions and face the shadows and the fears that you have around some kind of emotional trauma. And it doesn't have to be something from your childhood. It's whatever most plays over in your mind that makes you feel a sense of shame around yourself, or a sense of guilt, or a sense of worry. And you need to let go of all of that. And you're the figure in the middle who's putting out a hand as if to say, please, just step away for the moment, so that I can find who I am, who is my absolute inner truth. And that's meditation. And it's not meditation with these 2 guides from Sirius, but it's meditation with the earth grid, with the phoenix energy inside the core of the earth. So that's where you're heading to birth your new cosmic egg, which is in the cosmos, and it's flying down. But you can't bring it down until you anchor your consciousness into the earth grid, because you need to create a pathway to draw it in. It's almost like It's almost like there's a string dangling down in you of your consciousness. You're planting it through your head, you're weaving it through your body, and then you're plugging it, anchoring it into the earth grid. And then it says, be fearless. So do not be afraid of your inner truth. So this is card 3, the union of all 3 aspects of yourself, becoming a beacon lighthouse to shine in the darkness for others. But you can't do that without doing the shadow work in the darkness yourself. You've got to go into this darkness. See, this is the dark you, this is the light you, this is the transformed you. And there is, I'm getting again a sense of Sirius in this card. There's an image of a dolphin. It's not really a dolphin, but they're showing me it as a dolphin. Dolphins are interdimensional beings that live both here and connected through their higher self to planets in the Sirius solar system. And they are water worlds. They don't have very much land. They're mainly water, and like the nymph stage in a dragonfly's life, they live breathing water, not air. So you need to be fearless and face the things that most frighten you. And then it moves on to card 50, which is Soul Journey. And this is the celestial city that's at the heart of your sacral. You have to do this shadow work to reach your celestial city. Now, your sacral has been cleaned out since last December, and it's taken away the physical energy blockages of self-loathing so that you can fill them with self-love. And that orange fire in your belly is what needs to take shape now, but that has to be self-appreciative, self-loving energy in your sacral to take you on this pathway towards your celestial city. And there's many people walking this path, because everybody, all these other people in this other card, are all meant to be on their journey to their sacred inner celestial city. And then what is the outcome? It's 48 and 60, which is the Sorcerer and the Vision Quest. So the journey that you do is to look at your shadow self, to look at the darknesses. Look, there's a rainbow light whizzing past, because this is over. This energy is dealt with. This is Age of Pisces energy today. And then to face into the new frequency, which is a burgeoning rainmaker frequency. It's a vision quest as you head towards the solar eclipse of the inner child on the 14th of December. So the outcome's not now, the outcome's in December of this moon, because moons don't do things very fast, but actually in time frames, it's usually 6 months. So this is quite a fast moving frequency. So you need to go into the earth and ask the roots of a tree to take you to the earth grid to start your vision quest into your darkness, to face this. Because look, whatever this is, whatever bad thing you think you did, even if you're looking for something you may have done in a past life, it doesn't matter. It's over. It's not the frequency of now, and it's not the frequency of moving forwards towards the new energy that's coming in. Everything's good, but we do need to clear out the DNA so that you can make this journey comfortable, rather than by sailing down on with your clarity because you've done the shadow work on your raft. Or you can have the universe just tug you right out of that tower, and it's going to be deeply uncomfortable. Which, you know, I do shadow work all the time, but I had to go through that burning fire so that I could understand just how important it is for you to do this meditative work and make it easy on yourself, because it was really uncomfortable. Anyway, rats, that's your 8th moon, and I'll see you very soon. Wassail.